Hello and welcome to my crafty corner here on YouTube called aKnittersSoul. My name is Elo and I'm coming to you from Oslo, Norway. As the name suggests, I am very fond of knitting and that is what I will be talking mostly about. But I will also get a little bit into the life later on in the episode, so that if that is something you're interested in, then yeah, come along for a ride later on, I guess. A little bit of admin. As per usual, I will be linking patterns mentioned, yarns mentioned. I might have a podcast or two I mentioned today. I will link all of them down below in the subscription box. And also, if you are a new viewer and you do like my content, then feel free to hit the subscribe button. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming by again. It's lovely to have you here spending time with me. Yeah, so let's just jump straight into it. What am I wearing today is an old finished object. It's my old romance by Jorge Locatelli. It's a very simple cardigan. Ooh, as you see. Take a step back there. Ooh, not easy to show. The beauty of the cardigan really lies in the sleeves, which is a lace panel, and I knit it in alpaca silke from Sandnes Garn. It's been a while since I made it, and I really like it. It's very nice to put on now when it's slightly chillier but not very cold, because yeah, it's quite a lightweight cardigan. Yeah, I might take it off during filming because it is a little bit on the warmer side today. I think it's in the 20s today, 20 Celsius, so rather warm, which is really enjoyable, I must say. Finished objects. I will start off with a test knit. Nope, that was not the right bag. There's the bag. I will start off with the test knit that I did. This is a new shawl that has been designed by Gunniren, who has a podcast here in Norwegian on YouTube, which is called Gunnis Englestrikk. And this is it. It's more of like a chalette, I guess. It's almost full wingspan actually. My size is. You might recognize the pattern on the panel, which is from her angel shawl, which I have also knitted, and she's published it. And this one has those little wings. Yeah, so it's a bit more simple shawl, I guess, in the sense that it doesn't have as much lace, but it is a perfect shawl for using up maybe those small leftovers that you have in your stash, because this one weighs, what was it again, just under 100 grams? No, it's not right. 50 grams? God. I'm gonna weigh it and put it on the screen. It's been a little while since I knitted it, so my mind is blanking. It is knit out of the middle part here is knit out of 3 different red tones of Finul from Rauma Garn that I had in a stash, and it's held double with a mohair from Sandnes Garn, Kit Silk Erle. And the wings are knitted out of actually yarn that Gunniren herself has gifted me at one point. It's her hand-dyed yarn, which is this nugget that I have left here now. It's like a tonal red, where you have these blippets that are a little bit lighter, brighter, and then you have this more heather color kind. And this is also why I chose the mohair I did, because I wanted to pick up the sort of heathery red in there, so that I could kind of bind together the reds. I see that on the screen they look very different, which I don't mind actually. It's not as well, I guess they are quite different in a way, but I feel like, you know, there's some blippets of reds that pick up the red in here. Yeah, really happy with this and the way it turned out. A very quick knit. I think I knitted it in 3 days, so if you need a little shawlette as a gift, or you yourself like shawls on the smaller side, then this is perfect, like to have under your winter coat. Really love it. Can absolutely recommend it. I think she's about to publish it any day now. And really you could use any yarn, and it doesn't really require a lot of yarn, like I said. And I will write down the details below. Sorry about that. So yeah, that was Angel Winged Shawl by Gunniren Simonsen. A lovely project for those smaller skeins of yarns. Because yeah, it doesn't use a lot, so look out for the pattern. There's a few dusters that I've used leftover yarns or stash yarn, and maybe you have this one beautiful skein that's been languishing in your stash for the longest of times, and you don't know what you want to make out of it. That's a quick, nice project and a great gift, I would say. Also, I want to show you the bag that my shawl is in. It's a felted bag that I made a while ago. I followed a pattern. Probably have somewhere the booklet still. I didn't take the time, didn't think of it to look up the pattern name, but this this was made a long time ago. I do not remember the yarn I've used. I don't think I have it on Ravelry. This is something I made up myself, a little bit of embroidery, some beads to go on it. Yeah, I haven't really used it because, I mean, no matter how much fun I had making it, it's not really my style, I find. So either I'm gonna be using it just as this, as a project bag, or I have also been thinking about maybe gifting it to one of you, if any of you is interested in a bag as such. If you are interested, let me know. But yeah, that was my Angel Wing shawl. It's my first finished object. My second finished object is also a shawl. As you might notice, there's a theme now that a lot of, like, at least if you're a returning viewer, a lot of the projects I'm showing to you, you have not seen before, and I will get back to why it's so later on. Anywho, this is my lovely shawl, or lovely leaf shawl, I think she also calls it in English. I haven't written down the name of the designer, sorry, so I will just put it on screen, but this is it. I don't think you can see that there. I don't think you can see it. There is a metal thread, no, stellina thread. Stellaris in there, and I see it gets quite muted on screen, but Stellaris by Kremke. It's 560 meters and 25 grams, and I think it just gives this little extra to it, which I really love. And as you see, it's quite big, and the reason for that is that I actually started another project, another pattern, also a shawl, but found that the yarn was a bit more, the colorful yarn was a bit more busy than what it looked like when it was in a skein compared to when it was caked up. And the yarn is Cowgirl Blues, Merino Twist, and the colorway is called Happy Days. Really lovely yarn, like super soft, and I think it's so pretty. But yeah, I first thought of the shawl, which I will get to either later or another time. I will see how long of a time I'm gonna use here now. But yeah, I've found that it was too busy, and I really wanted to use it because I think it's such a pretty yarn, and also it's so soft and lovely. And then I came to think of this pattern that I wanted to knit for a long time, and I think it worked out really well. I've paired it with just a plain droppsfabel, white droppsfabel, in the colorway 100, which I think, is it unbleached? I think it's unbleached white. And I think it's really pretty because the pattern in itself is knitted out of more like solid colors, so the stripes are more defined, I guess. But I quite like that they are more subtle, they're not as defined. You can see there is striping, but yeah. The main body is knit on 4mm needles, and I went down to 375 for the leaf border because I felt that that gave me a better fabric that I enjoyed more. And yeah, the size of it is because I wanted to use up as much as I could of the Cowgirl Blues yarn, and I succeeded quite well. Because after doing the last row, because you start from the top and you work down, and I was weighing the yarn along the way, and I was hoping to get another stripe of it out of the yarn, but it was exactly a little too little to do another row, so that's when I wrapped it up. The white fabel I did have in my stash, but I did run out of it, so I had to buy some more to finish the lace. I did look at or try to add a different sock yarn by Arvetta to it, and it wasn't just working out because the the way they are spun is different, so it just didn't look right. The Fabel kind of looked more airy and the Arvetta looked more dense in a way, if it makes sense. But yeah, it's a very pretty, very simple pattern. Also, again, if you have this one single skein or maybe half a skein even that you don't know what to make out of, I can absolutely recommend this pattern, as you can knit it until you run out of yarn. So that was my second finished object. Sorry, I got so much to show here now since I haven't podcasted in a while. That one there. Yeah, I've finished a pair of socks. And this is them. What to say about them? It's just plain vanilla socks where I've just done 3x1 ribbing through the cuff and the leg. Just had to think there for a little while. And also I tried out shadow wrap heel for the first time, and I really like I actually really like this heel. It's easy to knit and it fits my instep better than a regular German short row one does. The yarn is, here it is, sorry, the crane playing all the time. It's Happylicious by Vikkevira. She's a Swedish dyer and the colorway is Lakshmi. There you go. And her yarns, they come in like 50-gram balls, so I had 2 of them. And I must say, a little bit surprised over how long the stripes were, but I'm quite happy with the way they turned out, because as you see, I will take it off. My sock blocker is a little too big. I'm gonna need to invest in smaller ones. But you see, this wasn't quite intentional, because I did my cuff for the length that I like, which is more like a mid cuff. I don't like them too long. I mean, like sometimes I do, but I prefer mostly like the mid cuff ones. But what I like is I managed to kind of hit the heel there with this, like the third color, and then just smoothly go into another color. I think it turned out like quite well. It was kind of hard. What I'm getting to. It was hard to tell when the change was coming, because it was a very long change. The color change, and sometimes it looked like it started to change, but it was just like speckles of the new color without actually changing. But all in all, I'm really happy with the way they turned out. They're about like a 38-39 size, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep them myself or maybe they'll become a gift. I got several people in my life who would fit that size, so yeah, really happy with the way they turned out actually in the end. They're quite matchy, but not 100% matchy. You see, like this one is slightly more green than the other one. Wow, can you tell that on the screen? Not really. Yeah, anyway. But when I was finished, well, actually no, that's like a work in progress. I'll take that out afterwards. So those were my vanilla socks, shadow wrap heel. Thank you to all of you who suggested that. I do really love that, and will definitely be knitting that heel again in the socks. Then my fourth finished object is my Baker's Twines pot holders. If you like knitting pot holders and you haven't tried this pattern yet, I do recommend it. It's very easy, quite, it's very simple, very intuitive, easy to get into, and they make this quite thick and lovely material. There's an I-cord running through here and garter stitch, and you knit in one of those rings, so everything's kind of built in as you go. And the yarns that I've used to knit that are Rainbow by Hobby. This colorway, what is this Rainbow 8/4, what's 8 print, colorway 49. And I was kind of inspired to use a sort of this kind of colorful printed yarn after seeing Karianne from Tourette and Vrang knit the same pot holder, and I just fell in love with that. I loved that she took one like a colorful yarn and matched it with solid colors. I really like that. I think it looks so pretty, and I did the same. I got, yeah, this one is not gonna be easy to see what it is like that, but they are saffron from Drops, and this is not like 100% white, but it's a color number 18, and then the pink is number 1. Usually the whites are the ones. Have I missed, not missed, but mixed the tags, I wonder? Anywho, I had just had to break into a new, like a second ball. I used 1 ball in total on those, plus a little bit from this one. I had to break into this one because I did knit also those rings from there, and I think I have an untouched pink ball. I will be making more of those because I do think they are very lovely gifts. They are very easy to knit, and they're like a lovely project to have on the go. And also I did like I think it was actually Karianne who spoke as well about this, like having those ergonomic needles by Prim. They're a little bit softer, so they are not, because you're working with 3 threads, or at least I did, like depending on what kind of cotton yarn you use. Mine is a rather thin one. I had 3 strands of yarn, and it can be quite hard on the hands. Not too much though, but it was quite nice. I quite like these ones. So I will be using those also next set of pot holders that I will make. I'm thinking about making another one with this, but maybe instead of adding the white-ish, I might put like a darker heather into it, or yeah, just to make it a little bit different. Fun for me. And this is living in my new bag. I'm losing my sock blockers. Let me just move them. In my bag from Strikkefeber. I believe it doesn't say it on the bag, but they in their shop they also have kind of like kimonos, well, kimono style morning robes, and just like regular robes, and they made out of, I believe it's reused sari silk. Can that be true? I might be. Anyway, I think this is kind of like reusing old saris, like old. I think they are like redesigning, or like this is sort of like a redesign. Anywho, they have a lot of beautiful bags, a lot of beautiful fabrics. very soft, very lovely. I love this drawstring. It's like slides closed very easily. I think that was it for the finished objects. I think so, yeah. Kind of feel like I'm forgetting something because there's so much to remember. Anywho, works in progress. I guess I could jump into the ones that you've seen before. They haven't seen too much love because my knitting mojo did go down in the summer, so things kind of came to a halt, but I did make some progress on my plant lady. It's been in the bag now, it's a little bit crinkly, so it's quite a bit longer since you saw it last. Yeah, I see I've marked it. Let me see. I marked it there from last time, I think. Yeah, crinkly. And my lovely stitch marker from Sofakroken. I love them. I think they're so cute, fuzzy. So yeah, it's kind of silly that it came to on hold, but because I was struggling with my knitting mojo for several reasons, I just couldn't pull my brain together to the state of deciding like how long I want the top to be so that I can divide to sleeves. The yarn that I'm using is Tynlina and the color is 9822. I really like this yarn. I mean, it's lovely to work with. I'm not a typical green person, but I really like this green. It sort of leans a little bit into more of the yellow tone, so it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know what I should call this actually. I just like it. I think it's really pretty and the fabric is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I mean, it's not much left of the top. I should really pull myself together, but I don't see myself maybe necessarily wearing it this summer, but I hope I do. Yeah, so not a lot has happened, but oh, it's really close. But yeah, I think it's turned out really pretty. I love the base. It's so pretty, so simple and yet so effectful. And this one is living in my Bed of Roses bag, which I purchased a while ago. I think it's the perfect bag with its subtle colors for my little like subtle top plant lady in a plant bag, because you got some flowers going on it. Oh, my yarn is stuck to the bag, sorry. So yeah, I've added some inches to it, but it's not finished, unfortunately. Then the second project that I have shown you before, and it's still on my needles and I still love it, but again my brain just stopped functioning and I was tinking it back more than I was knitting it forward, so I just put it aside and I'm waiting for like autumn. It's my rose cardigan? No, not cardigan, I'm sorry, rose jumper. I don't know where I got the cardigan from. And I do still love it. I think it's so pretty. Let's see. I think it's gonna be so beautiful when it's done. I love it. The design is by AKnittersSoul, and the yarns that I'm using are my own hand-dyed Finull, and then there is Villa Silla, like a red burgundy color, and what I've added to the ribbing is Rauma Finull color 4069. It's sort of like this pale corally orangey kind of color, and then it's more of a Barbie pink but not like bright pink. Also Rauma Finull 0478, and those colors I've, like these two colors I've added because I know that I'm not gonna have enough of only this yarn, which I have colored myself, because I have only 100 grams of it. So that's why I added like that sort of like corally pale coral color to the ribbing. I will repeat that also in the sleeves and in the collar. And then I added that pop of pink in there. And I really like that. I think it gives it a little bit more life, makes it more I just feel like kind of it ties it together so nicely. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's gonna be really, really pretty. But yeah, this is gonna get some love soon, because I really want this. Now I'm saying a lot. Sorry about that. My next work in progress are my Enrai socks. Let's see, I'll try to adjust the picture. Here you go. Enrai socks by Keikko Kikkono. And this is from my 52 Weeks of Socks Volume 2 book. And this is where my Happylicious yarn comes in again, the Lakshmi colorway. Because I had about exactly enough left for another pair of socks. But to be quite honest, even though I like the colors in the yarn, I think it was really pretty the way it turned out. It was kind of boring because I wanted those stripes to go quicker. They did not. So I thought like, what if I add a black color to it and knit the Enrai socks? And I think they turned out really, really cool. It's really fun. Let me see, I'm just gonna put it on my hand there. I think it's really cool with the long color changes in this case. How it softly just goes from one color to the next. And they are a toe-up sock pattern. You could easily reverse it into cuff down and add your own heel. But I mean, even though I prefer doing cuff down, and I do prefer the heel flap, heel flap turn. Since I tried out the shadow wrap heel, I didn't mind going the other way because I really do like this heel, and I actually have two of them, and they are almost about the same. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, at the same point in the pattern, except that one of them has started to get well, you can't tell, it's black. I've started on the ribbing, on the other one I have not. And actually I can't think of when I knit with black last, because black is not really my color. I don't knit a lot with it. I don't wear it a lot. So I don't have a lot of it, but I did have this one ball of Droppsfabel. Yeah. Droppsfabel, is this the right label? Yeah. I'm not sure. But it's just plain black. And yeah, I really like them, and I actually have quite a lot of the yarn left still, so I might make another pair of the Enrai socks, or maybe not, we'll see. So I could get something that's more on the pink, purple, and this sort of corally orange color. So I got still quite a lot of it left. So yeah, those are my end-dye socks. Almost finished, just missing the ribbing, and I think they're really fun. It looks kind of wonky now because you have all these slip stitches that you do in the pattern, but it looks really good on the foot. It fits very well, and it's actually a really intuitive pattern, very easy to get into, and really fun. Also, I want to say that if you like knitting socks, I mean, like, I personally, I do recommend this volume of the 52 socks a lot, because I found so many socks that I like, also slippers that I love. As you see, I marked quite a few of the patterns that I would love to knit, and they all well, I'm not gonna be maybe going to all of them, but you know, you have quite a few options of slippers like this. And I have knitted a pair like that before, and I really enjoy that, both for the way it's knit and how it fits. There's another one. It's really pretty. So yeah, maybe have a look in them, maybe you find something to your liking. So those were my works in progress. Now I have one more, just barely one more. I paused them before because I'm going to a knit evening tonight, and I needed something that I could knit on as soon as the socks are finished, because the ribbing, it's not much. I mean, I'm supposed to knit, it says in the pattern 4 centimeters, but I will see what I feel like. If I either want it longer or shorter, I will see. Yeah, I have cast on the moustache, like the Hulk Hogan type, which is a little bit longer. No, this is gonna be a dishcloth, and I am actually following a pattern. Not that you really need a pattern for a dishcloth, because you could just really, it's like a big swatch. If you want to try out a different pattern or like stitch pattern, dishcloths are beautiful for doing so. This one, but I just, because I wanted not to be experimenting and just to follow instructions, I guess. This one is called Diamanter, which is Diamonds by Pitta Mikkelborg. She has given out a lot of different dishcloths, more, can I say advanced, less advanced, a lot of different like levels of difficulties. So if you do need inspiration, she has a lot on her Facebook page. But I think it's mostly in Norwegian, so if you know Scandinavian languages, you can look it up and maybe you find something there to your liking. And also these patterns are free on Facebook, but they are not for sharing or selling, just so you're aware of that. Also, yeah, the yarn that I'm using is Elisa by Järbo Garn. It's colorway 69026. And this one was actually originally in my head meant to be the Baker's Twines pot holders. But what I didn't think of is that this one is like 60% cotton and 40% acrylics. So not a good yarn for pot holders, I would think, with the acrylic in there. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. I don't know. That's why I ended up buying the hobby yarn, because I wanted something that was 100% cotton and not a blend. And then I was kind of left with this, and then wasn't sure what I wanted to make out of it. But then I was watching podcasts, as you do, while knitting, and I was heavily inspired by Anne Marlene from Strikk og Fjas, She's a Norwegian podcaster that has a residence in Sweden. And she was talking about the Lisa yarn and making dishcloth out of it and saying that it was really, really great yarn for that. And the funny thing was, when I was trying to read this pattern, it actually says that one of the yarns this dishcloth has been knit out of, like test knitted out of, was with Elisa. So perfect, I have that. And it says that in their case, one dishcloth is 31 grams. So I should be able to knock out 3 of them from this ball, which is also perfect because I'm thinking about giving this away as a gift to my brother and my sister-in-law, together with the baker's twine pot holders. So that is the plan, both to have something simple to knit, but also because this is something I need to have done by the 23rd-ish kind of August, which is not many days ago. Not many days until. So yeah, I have a lot of things on my needles, some things off my needles, some things are a little bit have been put aside a little bit because I need to just be in the right state of mind to be knitting on them. I did end up frogging the sweater I mentioned last time, which is, I will write it there, and decided that I will use the yarn for something else. I already have actually a plan. Where did I put that plan? I don't know, I put it away. I will talk about it when it comes on my needles, I guess. And I feel so out of it. I haven't done this for a little while. I see. I realized I have quite a bit of acquisitions, and I also have some plans. I have some plans I can share, some plans I cannot share. I will be knitting a test knit for aKnittersSoul, and I'm not allowed to share it, so I will just show you the yarn that I will be knitting it out of. Sorry about leaning into the camera there. The test knit, I did have this yarn in my stash from before, because I've been trying to be good and use my stash to the best of my ability. But the test knit I will do is out of Charisma Drops Charisma. It's the colorway 53. It's like a charcoal black. It's not as black as it's showing off on the screen. It's more of a charcoal. And yeah, it's not a typical color for me to knit out of or for me to have in my wardrobe. But I've been missing maybe a more what's the word for it? Yeah, like a color that goes with everything, because I got a lot of bright colors in my wardrobe. I need something neutral. God, that's the word I was looking for neutral. And I've been going back and forth if I wanted to make it like this kind of neutral or more like a beigey white neutral, and I've decided upon this one. I think this is what I need in that style and this. So when I'm allowed, I will share it. It's a cardigan, but that's also all I can say. Don't know if I can even say that. Might have to bleep out what I just said. But yeah, I will be knitting out of this. So that's one of the things that will be coming on my needles very shortly. Then I have also plans of knitting the gecko scarf, which is this scarf here. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, so if you're interested, have a look. What drew me to it actually initially was that I thought this was a crochet shawlette, and I really liked the texture of it, and actually went into Ravelry to cast it on and to check out like what size of the hook has been used, and I was like, why it doesn't say the hook size here? Turns out this is actually knitted, but it mimics the fabric of crochet. and I think it's just very, very pretty. And this is actually the yarn I first started off knitting out of this, and decided I was too busy, that the yarn wasn't able to shine, the pattern wasn't able to shine, and I decided that I actually have this beautiful yarn here. Blows out a little bit, it's a bit warmer, it's kind of gray and green tones in there. It's a very, very pretty yarn. Yeah, blows out a little, but you know, you get the idea. This yarn is by Stranded Dye Work. Oh, sorry. And the colorway is Lichen. It is a 80/20 superwash blue face Leicester, got BFL and nylon. And I did try knit it up with just this yarn, and I felt that I needed to sort of soften the look, or yeah, well, I wanted to add a mohair, so I actually bought this Ito Sensai, which is a 60% mohair, 40% silk blend, 20 grams, 240 meters. Does it say the colorway? Cabbage, 0700 cabbage. And I had forgotten this one at home, but I kind of like, when I saw it, I just thought this would fit perfectly. And also it has a bubble edge, this yarn, so I'm thinking that I will pick out the green tone in there, which is pretty close to this one. Doesn't really show so well off on camera, but I'm thinking of making a bubble edge out of this one, which is Arvetta by Filcolana. The color is 243, and I think it's gonna be really pretty, like this soft, subtle green, gray shawl. And yeah, this is a free pattern on Ravelry. There are some mistakes in there, so you have if you want to look at it, and I suggest you look at the comments that's written there. She clarifies at least a bit of it, and then you just need to think a little bit, but once you get going, it's really, really simple repetition of 4 rows pattern. A lot of knitting, a little bit of purling, but mostly knitting, and some knit 3 together, and yeah, but it's not difficult to get into this pattern. It's really, really simple. I think that's gonna be it for... I'm kind of bummed that I put away... Yeah, I have another shawl planned. I'm planning to make some gifts now. I'm starting like gift knitting already now, because yes, I know it's August, but December comes very quick when it comes to creating things from scratch and with your needles and yarn. So I'm trying to be a little bit ahead and not be like a last minute knitter for gifts. Maybe I will have a knit along, like a Christmas knit along in not long. Maybe I'll think about it, maybe next episode. I see my battery is running out on the camera, so I will just take a little break there. And I'm back. Technical difficulties and not so fun, but I think I got it sorted out. I'm just very quickly gonna go through my acquisitions. I'm not gonna show you everything I have acquired because there's quite a bit. But I'll tell you about the ones that are more special, I guess. because I've got some commercial yarn that I bought, and those I'll just show whenever I take them into use. I will show you the hand-dyed yarns that I acquired that are unique and special, and I'm thinking I'll do that in the order I've acquired them, more or less, anyway. I have been traveling a little bit in Norway this year. I've been to different wonderful places and seen a lot of wonderful nature, beautiful sceneries. I will add footage in the end, I think. Yeah, I think I will add just the footage in the end. But I've seen a lot of beautiful places. I've been blown away by the beauty of Norway once again. I know Norway is a beautiful country, and we tend to not have enough vacations, if you ask me, within the borders of our own country. But for the last 2 years now, 3 years, 2 years, we've been exploring a little bit more, which I'm so happy for, because I've seen so many beautiful places. Anyhow, we traveled from Oslo over to west coast, kind of west-ish, and then we carried on towards Trøndelag at one point, because we were going to see my stepdaughters, the girls. From my mother-in-law's house and the cabin, we traveled forward to Trondheim. And what do you have in Trondheim? It's a beautiful yarn shop called Unique Garn, and there's their card. And I have seen their podcast, because they do have a podcast, and we were just strolling along the streets of Trondheim, passing time. I was kind of like, I have been to Trondheim before, and had sort of a sightseeing many moons ago, so I wanted to explore it a little bit more through different eyes, being like, I think it was more or less 20 years ago when I was there last, like properly was. I've been there like quick trips, and we have eaten dinner, because when we are at my mother-in-law's, it's just like 45-50 minutes or something drive. It's not a long drive, so we always just popped in and come back, and not really explore the city as such otherwise. Anywho, we were strolling, and I was like, oh, I know this shop, I've heard about this shop, I've seen this shop, I want to be in there. So we went in there the day after, because it was closed the very same day, and I bought quite a bit of stuff. This bag is one of them. I think it's so pretty. It's like these beautiful tiny flowers on them, with the pinks inside, and with this pink little bubble there. It is a drawstring bag, and it has the clothing mechanism. And oh, I dropped the card, sorry. And I was kind of like slightly rude with the shop owner, because like, oh, I have just another bag over there, and I was like, well, mine is prettier, or like more beautiful, because it has a pink. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude, but I realized it might have sounded a little bit rude. I think this bag is by Strikkesylvi. Is that what you are on Instagram? Her name is Sølvi Eriksen. I think it's Strikkesylvi on Instagram. I will try to see if I can find information and link it below. And one of the yarns that I bought there, this is more like a mass-produced, I guess, so in that sense I should be really saying like, wow, I'm not gonna show you that, but this is pretty special to me, because I haven't tried this. I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't tried it, and it's Holst Garn. And I've been wanting to try this for the longest of times. It's 100% wool, 50 grams is 287 meters, 314 yards. And I bought 6 balls of this oatmeal color, which is, yeah, no, it doesn't say number, it just says oatmeal. And I thought it was quite a good color. Doesn't really maybe show, like, it's not that great with the lighting I have here, but I was trying different colors next to my skin, and I seem to be a little bit in a neutral phase because I wanted something neutral. And I do have a very specific cardigan by aKnittersSoul in mind for this one. And I will get back to that at one point when I'm actually knitting that, which is probably gonna be more in autumn, winter, as of the woolly yarns. But yeah, and then now I have a all of each of these, which is Tundra and Dark Apple. These pretty greens, pretty accurate on the screen. This is maybe slightly lighter than it shows off on the screen, but pretty much bang on. I also got this skein here, which is her own hand-dyed unique yarn. This was actually her jubileum, oh gosh, my words. No, I can't think of the word. Maybe I'll get back to that. But it's called Jubileumsblomst. It is a sock yarn, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And it's this really pretty sort of soft turquoise color with some blippets of this beautiful burgundy red thing that almost turns into a brown in there, and also this sort of a greenish tone in there, greenish rusty kind of color, and it has that throughout everything. And it's like a tonal blue. You see, it's like lighter, darker, very, very pretty. And I also bought 2 mini skeins of this color here, which is actually rather accurate on the screen. Now, this one doesn't say a colorway, and I am regretting like a dog that I did not buy a third one of these, because she didn't have a full skein of this color. And I absolutely like fell in love with this. I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's kind of it has like a green undertone to it, you know. It's not like golden, or it's not green, it's not yellow, it's something in between, and I love it. I think it's so, so beautiful. I would love a full skein of it. I think this color is so great. But the reason why I'm regretting not getting another one is that those of you who have seen me before, you know, I've been talking about making this shawl called Gardens of Givenchy, I think it's called. Let me see. Yeah, Gardens of Givenchy. And I just been like wanting to make it in one color, and then I'm like, well, no, it doesn't really speak to me, not right now. Or maybe that color, well, yes, but no. And then it just suddenly clicked in my head. I want to make that shawl out of these 2 colors. Because I think it would be beautiful. Let me just pull it better. I'm trying to show you, whoop, too much there. I would love to do these garter stripes there in that greenish golden kind of color, and then this in the between have this sort of a turquoisey water. So it's kind of like having those, like having the water flowing in between the greens. I think that would be beautiful. So I'm hoping that maybe they will, or she will, color this up as a full skein, because I would love several skeins of it. If not, I have a golden one by Fortuna, and you see it's quite different, you know. It's a beautiful golden. I don't want golden. I don't like, that's like too dark. I really like the softness of this green, so it's kind of more, yeah. But anyway, if I'm not able to get a hold of more of this sort of greenish, I'm gonna somehow sneak in some stripes with this one. Maybe more towards the end where it doesn't show as much, when it's like more close to my neck kind of thing, because I want this shawl. I so badly want this shawl, and I wanted these colors. I am so hoping that she might color up, you know, this color here, because there's quite a stark difference. You know, this is a beautiful gold. It's kind of like this proper mustardy kind of golden color, which is so beautiful. But I want this. As you see, there's quite a big of a difference. You know, this sort of greenish and sort of this tonal is so beautiful. So I really hope that she colors these up, and then I'll be purchased in that, because I'm thinking like, oh, this like, those pinks could be like in my mind. Well, this wasn't the most pink point to bring out now, but where was it at, the pink? Anyway, I thought it was like there's water flowers in between, the, you know, water lilies or something like that is the picture I have in my mind. So those are the yarns from Unique Garn. And then I realized I must be having a theme in my head these days, because I'm buying the same type of colors, because I knew I had ordered some yarn from Garnferne, and when that arrived, this came, and this is pretty much bang on the same color. Well, I mean, yeah, there's slight differences. There is difference in the base. This one is more like this sort of twisty. You can see that twisty look to it, and this one is more, yeah, you can see the difference. So I seem to be having a theme these days, and I'm not a huge blue person, but I'm starting to admit to myself that I do like some blue in my wardrobe. And but the ones I got from Garnferne are these three. This one is caked up because I had plans of starting. I'm still planning that. I will be starting that. Just haven't gotten around to it. These three colors. So this one is called, they're all 75-25% superwash merino nylon, 100 grams for 25 meters. This one is called Paradise, or Paradis, and it's this beautiful sort of it's slightly more green in real life than it's showing up. It's not as turquoise as it seems. Beautiful. And then I have this one, which is called Nellik. Yeah, it's a flower. I'm gonna have to translate it afterwards and put it on screen, because I can't think of the name right now in English. But the really beautiful tonal pink. It's actually showing quite true color on the screen right now. It's really pretty pink, not pink. I think this one is called Bökeskogen. Yeah, I fasten it with a clip on so it doesn't like slide all around the end of it. Let's see if I remember correctly, or am I telling you some? Oh, it's Vår I Bökeskogen. Yeah, it's like spring in the forest, but I will have to like translate what bök is in English. I'm not sure about that actually, but it is sort of very pale yellow greenish kind of base with all these beautiful speckles. See? And this one I caked up because I was actually thinking about casting on my Rumpelsticken socks. Sorry. Which are those there, which I've shown you before, and I just didn't get around to it. The same reasons that for the same reasons I have not worked on my rose or my plant lady, is because my brain went. Anywho, that will happen because I want those socks so bad. Then I went to Strickeweber the same day as I bought the bag. I also bought this skinny single from Hedgehog Fibers called Sapphire. God. And I see that I've been leaning a little bit towards more purpley tones with yellow tones. And purple is not a color I usually lean towards to at all. But when you see the next skein, you'll see that again there is some purples in there. Not a huge amount. It's Crocus, like the flower, by Majastrik. And this one is 100% superwash merino wool. It's 100 grams, 400 meters, and I thought it was so pretty. It's so elegant, so soft, and I really was hoping to get like 3 skeins that I could make a sweater out of it. Unfortunately, she had only 2 left, and she is having like final sale because she has decided to put down her shop and not dye yarn anymore. So this is my contribution to her shop with those beautiful yarns. So I'm thinking either I'm gonna add a second yarn to this and make sure I get a sweater out of it, or maybe a shawl since there is no nylon in that, but I will figure something. I have some ideas. I have 2 sweater ideas. I'm gonna have to do some calculations and see if that's gonna be possible or if that's gonna have to be a sort of a dream. So yeah, those were my special yarns that I have acquired that I can think of right now. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I did start knitting another shawl. I have spoken about this shawl before, and I got quite far with it. And must be said, I knitted, I re-knit it, and I re-knitted 3 times. The body of the shawl, but I didn't think that the pattern and the yarn were a good match. I tried different combinations and I changed needle sizes, that's why the 3 times, and it's kind of in the same, yeah, I will put the picture of the shawl, both the original and what I accomplished. I never got to the lace border, I just did the body of it and I just did not love it. So I decided to rip it out, and it is the yarn that I and Gunnhild sort of didn't dye together, but it was kind of like the cleanup mop that we would dry our fingers into and like use all the leftover dye when we were dyeing yarn. And I just think the yarn is too pretty to not give it like full attention or make something beautiful out of it, so that's why I ended up ripping it out, because I wasn't loving the result of the shawl that I had chosen and the yarn I had chosen. So I have some ideas. I have also spoken to Gunnhild that maybe that she and I can knit a sweater instead of knitting a shawl. You know, color work. I think the yarn will be so beautiful for that. I'm gonna have to like think about it for a little, and instead of rushing through it and just making something that I'm not gonna love, I want to make something that I love and something that's gonna be special and I'm gonna cherish for a long time. So yeah, that is my plan. With that, I have knitted and ripped it out, so I have knit some. But yeah, I've been going on for like the longest of time now, but I think I'm gonna do one last yarny thing and then I will do the life bit. What I've been thinking is that I'm coming up to a year of my knitting podcast. I started last year in August, and according to YouTube I haven't really looked exactly into the date, but it's 11 months since last time I podcasted. So I'm thinking that maybe by next time I will pull some winners for some special gifts. And one of the gifts I've been thinking is that I have another set of this gorgeous yarn. It's really great yarn to knit with. This Happylicious yarn by Vikavira in these gorgeous colors, like, you know, you have this sort of a quite bright yellow, oh there it picks up quite nicely, and orange, and this sort of dark red in there. And they are 50-gram balls, like I said, they come in those small balls for like hanks. And I was thinking that I will put together sort of a sock set. So if you want to make the same socks that I was making, yep, I put the book away and the pattern away, and I can't see it right now. That I will put together sort of a pack, so you could make something the same. So I think if it's the same long changes of color, it's so cool. I think it gives such a cool effect. Or maybe you want to make something else out of it. Anywho, I was thinking either I will put together a set where the contrast color is gonna be this sort of dark forest green, or I will buy something along those lines in Arvetta, like a 50-gram ball. This one is just to show you like what my thought pattern is at, because I think this blue, I've tried different colors to it, and I see that some of them make them sort of disappear, some of them make them pop, and this is kind of the blue, like sort of royal blue, that makes it really pop. It's not as bright blue as it looks on the screen. It's a little bit darker. But anywho, I think either I'm gonna say, like, if you wanna win this set or that set, like either in green or blue, then I want you to comment either sock green or sock blue, and Hannah will draw from that. So I'm gonna find the perfect blue or the perfect green, and then you can choose if you want sock green or sock blue, and you can write that in one word because that's gonna be easier for me to look for. Because this is more like subtle. Let me just put away one of them. This is like a more subtle contrast, but it's still really good contrast to all the colors in there. It makes it pop really nicely. Or this one is like, makes it really pop, I think. So if you wanna win a set, then write sock blue or sock green, and I will send it to you. Or if you're not interested in any of those greens or blues and you just want this, it's also fine. You can let me know. But that is my idea, because I have tried to put black next to it. Not a good combination. It kind of, I don't know, it just sort of dulled the whole thing. It wasn't like a good match, like as it is with the other color. But maybe you want something more subtle. But I'm thinking I'm putting together either a blue or a green, and you can, oh, that I could do. I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna change it up because this is like 50 and this is 50. I could, no, is that gonna be too complicated? I could make two sets, you know, because it's enough to make like, because I'm not using that much of this colorful. Anywho, I will figure it out by the next time, but you comment sock green, sock blue if you're interested in winning one of those. And then I will draw a winner as like a thank you for following me for a year. I might add some other gifts in there, but that is what I have planned for now. It's like, you know, it's just like a loose plan. I think I'm definitely gonna draw a winner. It's just how it's gonna be is what I'll figure out by next time. So yeah, I've been blabbering on for a very long time, so if you're still here, thank you so much for, you know, tagging along. You see that the lighting is changing a bit, the sun is coming around the house. I'm feeling the heat, that hence no cardigan on me anymore. But yeah, if you're here just for knitting, this is it for the knitting content, and I will very shortly go into life and what's been happening with me. In June I went to a homeopath for like a thorough checkup to see if that maybe he could pick up something of significance or something that would help me understand why I'm feeling the fatigue, because I feel like I'm not being heard by my doctor. Sorry, I just need to count quickly. I wonder if I've done one wrong already here. Yeah. So he did do a checkup, and he did what I asked my doctor to do a long time ago, which is I check all my levels of vitamins, minerals, whatever, you know, all these things. He also had a look at my iris and did some other tests, look at my blood. And I've been on a regime of supplements now for the longest of time. Well, longest of time, it's 2.5 months, 2 months at least. It must be 2 months, yeah. I'm into like onto the 3rd month now with taking those supplements. And what I found in the beginning was that I think because my body was getting so much new input suddenly, it just went into this sort of, I don't know, mode. I felt even more fatigued. I felt like I got so tired that my whole body was aching, and I just wanted to lay down and do nothing, and you know, my brain just did not function. Like I said, I would pick up my knitting and my brain would just not work. So the only thing for the longest time I did knit on was that plant lady, because it was just plain stockinette, which is just knit, which was just perfect, until I got to the point where I have to figure out that, you know, do I want my body to be even longer, or do I want to split it into leaves because it has enough length? Just did not have the brain capacity to actually make that choice. And it was like that for maybe a month or so, where I just could not, my brain just did not function. And also with the heat that we got, it was really hot for a little while there. That also took away some of my mojo, and I just really wasn't in the right mind space. I just didn't want to pick up my knitting or anything, and I didn't. So we actually, like when we went for that car trip, I didn't bring any knitting, which is really rare for me, which is like unheard for me. I usually pack several projects with me so that I always have something to knit on. If I get tired of something, I could carry on with something else. I had nothing with me, not like anything. And at the end of this trip, I actually at one point started to feel like, oh, I would really love to knit. And I went to the local yarn store, but they didn't have the right needles. I like to, because I thought like, well, if I get hold of sock yarn, 225 needles, then I can just whip up some socks, and because that doesn't really require a lot of thinking, a lot of yarn, it would be like a quick fix. And they did not have 225s. I was trying to look different brands, they did not have that, so I was like, okay, it's not meant to be, so I left it be, which was fine, you know, because yeah, it was fine. I had other things to do, we had other commitments, so it didn't really bother me too much. And then when we got back home again, it was actually Gunni's angel wing shawl that got me knitting again, because it was this quick little knit that I could just get into. It wasn't too difficult, didn't need a lot of thinking, just knit it through. And I've been knitting since, like slowly but surely picking up things, picking yarns and patterns that make me happy. And that has gotten me back into knitting. I'm knitting a lot. Now I'm like really enjoying my stash again. I've been like rummaging my stash, looking for yarns, putting together yarns. I had like several like ideas in my head of how to use up yarns that maybe I purchased for a certain pattern at one point, but then kind of like started to doubt if I want to go that route anyway or after all. And I love that. My brain is like coming back to a state where I'm actually able to think and able to plan and enjoy what I'm doing, which is like so important for me, because I am a process knitter. I'm all bits, definitely. I love planning. I love the process, and I love the project, or like the finished object that you get. So it's really lovely to be back and to be able to enjoy those things. And yeah, it's great. I do feel like this whole journey with the supplements is starting to help somewhat. I'm not gonna say I'm like cured, or like I feel like I have all my energy back, but something is changing. There's some deficiencies obviously seem to be filled up in the body, that I'm getting what I need. I've been doing some slight changes to my diet as well, to be sure that I get all that I need through my diet. I don't have to be dependent on the supplements, which is also very important for the long run. So, you know, so I don't want to be, so to say, dependent on supplements or taking supplements in order to function in my daily life. I want to be able to get what I need from my food, what I eat. So I've been making some changes, and that is helping me some, and I'm really enjoying that, because I'm not as fatigued as I used to be. Yeah, I mean, I still have a way to go, but I'm feeling hopeful, and I'm so happy for having done that. I'd like having that suggestion from a friend of mine. Well, actually not a suggestion, but she told me about this person that she took her son there for different reasons, that he was having some medical issues that the doctors, like regular doctors, weren't finding out of. And yeah, that was a good experience for her and her son. So since I felt I wasn't getting the help I was looking for my regular doctor, I just felt like I had nothing to lose, and that was kind of worth trying out and seeing if maybe that would make my life easier. Maybe. I mean, it's worth a try, right? So I'm going back to him sometime in September and seeing what the measurements are gonna be then, and then if he's gonna come with different suggestions. But that is what I'm doing health-wise right now. Yeah, so I do feel like things are looking up. I'm kind of looking more forward to my days now, and enjoying the little energy that I do have in a whole different way. This it's looking up. I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, I don't know, is there anything more to tell? I think I've been talking long enough now. It's my health. It's a lot of knitting, well, not a lot of knitting, but a lot of acquisitions, some knitting. And yeah, I have some crochet plans as well coming up. I've done some sewing, but there's nothing really to show. Like here, it's like mending and stuff. I have been doing things, just, yeah. So it took me a while to get here, because I've been kind of tired mentally, physically, but like I said, things are looking up. And I've been trying to actually record now for a couple of days. But as it's summer, it's school break, and the kids have been home. The youth of this house has been home, the young adults have been home, and it's not as easy to find the time in the day, and also the noise level is different in the house. I mean, it's lovely to have them here, but it makes my filming a bit more difficult. So yeah, it's taken me a couple more days from the thought kind of ride in my head of like I need to make another podcast till I was actually able to do so. Anywho, I think I'm gonna say that this is it for today. I will add some footage of my experiences, travels in Norway at the end of this video. And yeah, I'm gonna wish you still a lovely summer if you're on this side of the hemisphere, or a lovely winter, isn't it? Maybe winter on the other side of the globe. I'm not sure. My mind is starting to go blank now. Happy knitting. Thank you for being here with me, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.